dream. Still music keeps on tuning me from the worlds that hurt my soul, removing that from my mind. Those long days passing by from the door, like late summer days slowly fade away, finding way through the favorite tune, playing all day with my eyes closed. Those long days passing by from the door, like late summer days slowly fade away, finding way through the favorite tune, filling me with those sounds. Can't get my mind out of those memories. Now time to tell them don't take my dream. Still music keeps on tuning me from the worlds that hurt my soul, removing that from my mind.
A true triple threat of talent with an expertise in vocals, dance, and the viola, the Jellyfish idol Ash joins the show to talk about their idol journey as both a cosplay idol and a Kaigai idol. All eyes on me. Idolize, episode 65. Ash. It's gonna load in. Will it load in? It'll load in. Wow. But yes. Wow. I am the cream of the crop. I am the yolk on top. This is Mighty Eggy Drago with Idolize, episode 65, with our guest for tonight. They are a master of the viola. They are an expert ballet artist. Ballet. What's the dancer? Ballet dancer. They 100%ed Persona 4 10 times. This is Ash.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for accepting this invitation, and also thank you for your your patience. Since I think 2 weeks ago, stuff happened that I had to reschedule, which is my bad. But thank you for but we're here, and yeah, might as well make it work right now on this very secret arc for a very unknown idol festival somewhere, someplace. But Ash, how are you on this lovely Friday?
Well, I'm doing good. It's been kind of a crazy time to be alive, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here and trying to make the best of. I don't even know how to explain so much going on, but happy to be here.
Yeah. Well, we might as well get things started with a question that I ask every single guest. For every single guest gets this question for the first time. It's who or what got you into idol culture / J-pop culture?
Ooh, so I feel like a common theme, and I'm getting a little philosophical with it, but not too crazy. A common theme in my life is that all the things that I'm into now were dropped into my life 10 plus years beforehand. And in the moment, I was just like, this is kind of cool, but I don't really get why this is happening in my life right now. So I was introduced to anime at a pretty young age. New York tri-state area, there's a pretty big Asian population, and a lot of my friends from orchestra kind of growing up were really into a lot of the big shows kind of airing at the time, and one of them was Shuko Chara. And At first, I was like, "What do you mean there's eggs? What do you mean these kids have like their heart is an egg?" I didn't really get it at first, but the fashion, the music, in particular, really got me into the series. But then also just like unknowingly J-pop in the long run, because there were so many Hello Project members, who even were doing some of the later opening and ending themes for the show. And then obviously, oh my gosh, they there was a subunit and I'm forgetting, and that's not good. But they were all based out of Hello Project. That was kind of my first introduction to J-pop, and the music was so cute, and I was like dancing along with like the MVs from YouTube and everything. But it was Love Live later that I think solidified the brain rot. So I'm like every other cosplay idol out there, that like the second Love Live School Idol Festival was a game that you could download and play, I was like, oh, this is it. We're set. We're in. And just the brain rot continued from more like anime adjacent groups to just full J-pop groups, and that was when I was in the thick of it, basically. Yeah. But the brain rot seed was placed years and years and years before. But it was Bono. Oh my god, that's
Bono.
subunit.
Oh,
It was yeah, it was Shugo Chara.
there was like a song that was by them that was like stuck in my head for a couple weeks. I don't remember what it was, but I know that that subunit is good. Oh, wait, no. Naya from Fable covered one of their songs. I'm like,
Oh,
crap. I'll remember. But they are a good subunit, and they have some good songs. With that in mind, it was anime, it was Love Live School Idol Festival, which is a game that has taken over. I feel like that's everyone's gateway. It's either the game or the anime. And do you have a favorite Muse girl?
Ooh, my favorite Muse girl kind of swapped a couple times over, because initially Maki was like ride or die, my favorite member from the start. But I guess as time has gone on, it switched from Ellie to Rin, and then I guess either Rin, Seiyu, or Maki's. They kind of like battle it out in my brain a little bit. For who's my favorite member? Oh, and Umi, duh.
Yeah.
Like Seiyu wise, I think she's my favorite
Yeah.
for sure. But then Pyle doing the Nanigatsuki recently, I was like, I'm personally victimized, attacked. Like she was like a little too good at it. So they do get out in my brain, but they're both chef's kiss, amazing. Yeah.
Pyle's good. Mimurin's good. I think she had like a baby like a couple months ago with my favorite wrestler, Kazuchika Okada. Wow.
Oh. Wait, then that must be like the
best
biggest
of
collab of all time with
best
them
of both
getting
worlds.
married.
Yeah. So Hello Project doing songs in that anime, Love Live, boom. How am I gonna do this? So what really put that idea of like being an idol into your head?
I feel like it was still kind of Love Live, because more silly lore. I guess for so long I had been doing ballet just kind of as a kid, because my parents realized very quickly we're all like pretty sporty family, because kind of like half Dominican, half Irish family members. So like everybody's tall and like some of us kind of lanky, run fast, whatever. But God, I hated running. I really hated the aggressiveness of team sports. So they threw me in ballet and eventually viola later, because even ballet got like weirdly competitive and like weird for my self-image. So I kind of stepped away from that too. But that's so much of it was like, oh, the arts are serious. Like if you're gonna perform in the US, like you have to be like a master at your craft, and you're not really, you can have fun within that, but then no, like, oh, if you're doing ballet, you have to be doing the Nutcracker every year. Like that's part of your like job basically, or you're shifting between shows or just playing what like an orchestra or a chamber group would expect of you in the arts. So I mean, unless you go Broadway, a whole nother discussion, but I didn't really feel like there was an easy way to like combine the things I'd already been working on with idol related things. But Love Live was like, anyone can be an idol, you can be an idol, you can be an idol. And that really got to me as a high schooler, especially because I had a moment of almost going to school for something completely different, even though I had kind of spent basically most of my life training in some kind of art in some capacity. So that kind of felt like another spark that, even though, and I guess to this day, I won't go too much into it, but I don't quite get family approval for what I do.
Oh.
But I still keep the spirit alive because, God damn it, I wanted to be an idol so bad. And so that kind of reignited it. Especially, maybe I won't go too much of a tangent into it. I did know some friends that had been auditioning for K-pop groups, like just because I feel like SM was always coming here.
Oh,
to,
New
like,
York, yeah.
for auditions, but like, if the only crazy thing in my brain, like if I could be reborn as like a have an Oshinoko moment and be reborn, I would want to be in an era where like I could audition for Cat's Eye, because I don't know, like that kind of group is like the group that would be so cool to be a part of. But like, unfortunately, I was born before the year 2000, so nope, that wasn't gonna happen. So TLDR, just Love Live for sure.
Love Live.
Yeah.
How many years have you done, like, how many years have you played the viola?
Ooh, so I started viola when I was 10, which is kind of late for string people, actually. Because every violin kid you hear, they're like, they stepped out of the womb and then they immediately picked up the violin and started playing their heart out. Like, that was not my case. Even parents didn't really go to music so much, as I never took piano lessons. Like, it was just straight into strings because, again, Shuko Chara, because Ikto played this crazy, and I've looked at the music, it's not as hard as I thought it was initially. Ikto's violin solo that he plays was like the reason to of like, oh, that's super sick, I want to be able to do that. But violin's kind of squeaky and I don't like that, so I ended up picking up viola instead. But I started at age 10, played through middle school, high school, ended up going to college for it. So now, oh my god, math, like 15? No, more than 15. Like 17? I can't do math.
That's
17 years, something like that. Really long time.
Yeah, that's a lot of, like, I guess, knowledge on the instrument, right?
Because like, it's so easy to just learn notes for something, right? Because when people assume you're learning music, that you're just learning the notes, but so much more is about the space in between the notes, or how you're taking sets of notes, like a phrase, and then connecting those to other music. So then it ends up being so much about telling a story and building emotions, and then being able to bridge between the gaps of notes to create a bigger musical picture. That's really cool for an audience to engage with, or even for like someone to like feel the emotions that the composer was trying to kind of display through the music they're writing. So, and even that's just kind of the basis of why people perform music, but then taking that and trying to do that on a string instrument, which at the end of the day isn't like a part of your body, like when I sing or like dance and stuff, like that's all attached to me. Trying to extend what my body's doing and then trying to change that with the viola is a whole nother beast, to be completely honest. It is really tricky, and I feel like for so long I felt like I was like stagnating, just trying to be like, oh, I have this instrument, it's in my hands, I'm playing the notes, like I'm doing the bow, the whole thing, but like, why is it not sounding like what I'm trying to like convey if I was singing it or like something else? So it took a lot of lessons, and even just having really good teachers, like thank God actually, that really were kind of making me kind of rethink how I would even approach playing. And then especially getting over the anxiety part of it too, because like you can practice to your wall or to your cat or to whoever for so long, but then taking everything that you've learned and how you want to share a piece to the world, and then getting out there and doing it is like a whole nother ball game too. So that got really philosophical again. But yeah, I've thought a lot about these things and how I want to approach showing music, so a lot goes into it.
A little bit of a detour, and like we're jumping a little bit all over the place, but I do want to ask, since we're on the topic of the viola, since it is part of your background, and I guess it's a signature part of your performance, since you do play it, I think like in every single performance since 2023, right?
Um,
Solo.
I think every single one,
Mm.
minus one or two, but
Okay.
pretty much always, yeah.
Right. You're like one of two like instrument playing or idols that play instruments is kind of rare in the US. I'm like my scope of the scene isn't that great, but it's like it's you and like a
Ooh.
Pilon or Daybreak from Eternal Hoshi who plays the bass.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mhm.
did you originally want to, I guess, use your background in the viola and just perform on stage in idol showcases, or did you just want to do like song and dance?
Um, I feel like I was so worried that like because I have a lot less experience in singing that even I've only kind of started doing vocal lessons within the past year or so that I would be really weak or like not really like someone people would want to see. Like I've always kind of had this philosophy of like if I have nothing to share to an audience, I don't feel the need to go on stage. So if I am going to go in front of an audience, I want it to be worth their time almost. So I figured I'm like, okay, what am I better at? The viola. Let me make sure like 100% that that is involved in some capacity. And it kind of lets me bring in more of the video game music that I like too. So I felt like from day one, it had to be a part of the performance, even though like I think it would take a lot to have a Lindsay Sterling moment on stage. But I think it would be fun to try. And that's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I do want to try doing more of that, combining the things together. But viola for sure had to be there. And even like, there's a lot of music that singing wise, it translates really well to viola. That was also why I wanted to make sure it was included too.
Yeah, I mean like from the performances that are on your YouTube channel and the B-roll that you sent me, it's like it's a unique I guess it's unique to see like someone playing the instrument. And also uh we'll get to into it with like the now presenting 2023 one, but yeah, we'll get into that. But
Yeah.
getting back on track, what was the very first like idol activity that you participated in, be it like a cover or like being it like on stage?
Ooh, okay. The first time was back at Otakon, which is like a kind of big stage to be on. So 2018, I had literally came back from a music festival for almost 7 weeks.
Ooh.
But the last little bit of it, I was learning Michiku Dreamer from Aquars because someone from Darling had. No, you know what it was? It was we were originally going to do a different song, but someone got really injured and couldn't perform the original, which was going to be Miracle Wave, which like for Otakon, that song made sense to do on that stage. But because the group had to pivot, and it was literally the first time I had ever met anyone in Darling actually. It was a lot of pressure to step in as Chica and be on such a big stage, frankly, for the masquerade. But we went up there, we performed Michiku Dreamer, and it was really cool. I feel like, and I wasn't used to the masquerade kind of backstage where like there's, like I guess kind of similar to like, I guess like big festival lives in Japan, like all the groups are backstage and everybody's like chatting it up, just
Yeah.
being like, oh my god, I haven't seen you in so long, or even like complimenting each other's cosplays and things like that. It just felt like, whoa, like this is a hub and like something I can do more frequently. And I guess like with masquerades too, the culture back then, you could still go up with purchase costumes, which was what we had done for the most part in our case, minus we had the transforming outfits with the third years. So even though like it was a performance that we ended up not walking away with any sort of awards or anything, it still felt like a big first step to kind of seeing what convention stages were like and the environment and everything. And so much of it felt new and like electrifying to me. So it was something that I continued from that point onwards through 2020. Yeah, with masquerades and idol performances there. But pandemic changed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But back then, it's like I still hold it in my mind as like a really fun memory, and just like I think a big step I needed to stop feeling like, oh, I could only learn dances at home, because up until that point I often looked at a lot of people's dance covers but never actually performed them anywhere. So that was kind of the first place that I was able to do that. Yeah.
Right. Like, is it like a different scenario compared to like playing the viola on stage, or like performing a ballet like routine on stage?
Ooh. I would say so, because because ballet, there's no lyrics you're really referencing, and you kind of just follow whatever choreo that you've been working on for like probably several weeks, if not months, for. So the difference kind of was like in that environment, I was used to just having choreo like ingrained in my brain,
Right.
like that I could not forget it. Like someone could wake me up at 4 a.m. and they'd be like, "All right, you're gonna do scene 3 act 2 or whatever," and then I would just be able to do it because of it being so ingrained. Versus idol style performances, I've always found that like so much of the lyrics is connected to the dance movements, because it's like a way to fully extend out kind of what the lyrics are doing to an audience. Say for example, if someone is like even if someone has like hearing impaired or like other things going on, that like the message is still like as clear as humanly possible, like through your voice, through your facial expressions, through your movements, to an audience, that you're throwing all your idol energy out there, and that's why it works, and that's why it's like cracked to me. But like everything is done for a reason to get that message out to an audience very differently. Same thing with like viola, there's no lyrics to the songs that I play, but being able to throw all my passion into an audience in an idol performance, it's kind of unlike anything else that I've done before. Yeah.
Segueing into that, with your first idol performance at Otakon, I guess we'll talk about like your cosplay idol days. Not you're still an idol. Cosplay idol. It's not days. It's not, not like reminiscing.
No.
But
It's not over for sure, but like I have more fun. My TLDR, I kind of have more fun just being a regular idol. So
right.
even though I will pop in and cosplay idol, I end up just singing the songs in my house when I perform them anyway. So like I'd rather just sing them, but didn't mean to cut you off in your
No, you're good. But how did you first get into cosplay?
Ooh, cosplay was kind of back in middle school, early high school. So before Love Live, the way my younger brother almost jokes about my one friend, I won't say their name because they go by something else now, but almost refers to them as my drag mother. I had a friend who literally went to like a school fair, and they were there fully as like Hetalia Russia.
Oh my
And
god.
I just sat there and I was just like, man, like you don't look the same. Like what did you do? Like you have a wig and contacts and a whole big costume on. Like how do you transform yourself like that? And at the time they were just kind of like, this is my favorite guy. Like I just want to be this guy. And like, is Russia like incredibly mentally ill or whatever? And he's like, don't worry about that, but I just want to dress up as Russia. And this is a thing you can do, especially because at the time I was so deeply insecure about myself, and that I really looked up to a lot of anime and fictional characters just to kind of like pretend to be like them, to gain more confidence when like kind of going out into the world and everything. So I kind of thought, oh, let me try this and just kind of see how I feel afterwards. So I ordered my first wig off Amazon Germany.
Germany.
Because it was like it was just so random that like, and even at that time Vocaloid was really big. So my first wig was a Gumi wig. It cost $40. It took like a month and a half from Amazon Germany because like the shipping was so much worse back then.
Yeah.
But even just putting the wig on, I was like, oh, this is it. Yes. So because I was a high schooler, I was going to a lot of like college level or really small cons just in the wig, and I would like thrift outfits together to try and like do certain Gumi songs I really liked at the time. So like Matryoshka, I got the hoodie, and then my friend was Miku, and we like ran around Anime Next when it was back in Somerset. like lunatics actually. But it was really fun. And then I kind of later on, as I got into Persona really crazy, then I kind of like would shift characters that I would wear to a lot of conventions. And once I finally had more disposable income in college is kind of where I went like full headfirst with cosplay and just trying to be like kind of like my favorite characters from the series airing at the time, through and just kind of like I don't know, enjoying the rush of being able to cosplay so many different people and like show different sides of myself, I guess, and even discover kind of like the types of characters that I would gravitate towards, or be like, oh, like, yes, you're a fun design, but like, Jesus Christ, I don't act like you kind of energy. So I feel like I became more confident as time went on by experimenting with these things, and even ended up getting better at makeup and things for societal beauty standards through the process of cosplaying too. Yeah.
Side tangent, but doing research on your Instagram or like trying to get like research for questions, I saw like a post. You cosplayed Beto from Genshin Impact, and I'm like, oh my god, Beto! Like no one, I feel like no one really cosplays her at all. So like, oh my god, that's a deep cut for me. But like, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, because certain characters, I have a side account. I just kind of follow like certain ships. That was one of the characters. But I mean, there's a certain ship with her and someone else that I think is very obvious. I will follow accounts that post them. Same thing, Akeshu. We're not going to get into it today, but with them too. But it's a whole nother thing. But I feel like cool ships and fun dynamics, even if they're maybe not necessarily like the most cosplayed character out there per se, kind of makes me feel more gravitated towards them. And even like in general, I feel like I don't see myself cosplaying protagonists that much, because I end up being like more soft spoken, and I'd rather be like, even in real life, it feels silly to be like, oh, like if someone's doing all the crazy stuff, I want to be like their right hand person.
Oh, the straight man
to it,
I guess.
kind of, yeah. Like, so I end up getting gravitating to those types of characters too. Where even like compared to the Genshin main character, she's kind of like, hop on my ship anytime.
Yeah.
I'll go help you out if you're in a pinch. And then there's the lady sipping her tea, and their dynamic is so cute. I love them.
It's been a while since I've
Trying to
played
keep it
Genshin,
appropriate.
but-
appropriate.
But yeah, I was like,
But
oh wow,
I look
Beto.
at them.
Back on track. Like in general, you've been in like a lot of cosplay idol groups. Might as well talk about like what's the process like joining one of these groups, like how it is, like how many times you practice, stuff like that.
Yeah. A lot of groups operate very differently. So I feel like every group I've ever joined, I would just kind of ask with humility. I'm like, I expect nothing in return. This is what I come to the table with experience-wise, and then kind of go from there. Especially because Darling, I guess, was the first big group I ever joined. And I remember just mentioning like, hey, I've never done an idol thing before, but like I did ballet, does that help? And at the time they were like, yes. So that's how I joined that group. But as pandemic things happened and things kind of changed, there were groups I guess I had shifted priorities on what I wanted to do performance-wise over time. So the group I joined, well, there were some Love Life groups in between that I had like helped out for one project or whatever it might be. But I remember joining Starshine Theater specifically because the group really wanted to perform at a high level, because the Revue Starlight like discography, choreography is probably some of the hardest stuff I've ever done. Genuinely. Those seiyus are so wicked talented to be belting those songs and running up like 12 flights of stairs every day to like go perform on stage, plus do like fight scenes and like really hard dances on top of all of that. So that group is again just kind of applying and even talking with the leader, Secretly Viola, for a little bit beforehand, because there weren't really groups covering that series at the time, and we didn't necessarily want to go the masquerade route about it because around that time, and this was like 2021, I believe, that or 2021, 2022, that there were more idol stages popping up. So we figured if we're gonna perform, like to perform with intent, to perform at a high level, and even like be almost like a representative of the series, because, well, like in a non-official capacity basically,
Right.
because no one else was covering it at the time. So I guess a lot of why I kind of joined specific groups was just to either try to perform around certain series or even really focus on achieving a high level of performance, or even like to try to be like our Oshis, to try to replicate our Oshis on stage. And so a lot of times I would just apply to projects, or even if people needed fill-ins, people have reached out to me, I've reached out to other people. It's kind of varied a lot depending on the project and group where things would kind of come in. When it comes to practice, I've found that a lot of groups I've been a part of, people are kind of spread out all over the place. So we often would kind of take the videos for the dances we were learning and split them up into really small sections and work on them and do weekly like check-ins, practice videos to make sure that everybody was kind of where they needed to be. And a lot of the real bulk, like say like formation checking and that sort of thing, would be in person rehearsals, usually closer to a con. If not, say like if certain members live closer, we would kind of meet up ahead of time, try to like hash some things out, or even like help each other out with really like smaller movements, and like making sure that everybody was kind of like the same, so that by the time our whole group would come together, and I'm like kind of blending in multiple groups with this, that it would be less intimidating to try and like really get a dance down solid in say like 3 to 6 hours of rehearsing. Not in one go, not in one
Right.
go, but just like say over 1 or 2 days before doing a showcase or before doing like a masquerade, whatever it might be. I think out of all the groups I've done, the only group that met in person more consistently was Starshine Theater. And that was kind of more of like a once a month, everybody goes to the dance studio for like a couple hours, like max 2-3 hours rehearse. But I've seen just a lot of different ways people go about learning dances. It just really depends on where people are coming from, their experience level, and then also just how people learn. Because if anything, the hardest thing to do is fill in somewhere last minute, to just try and like cram all of the choreo in your brain. I think the more it's like long term kind of back of head memory, that like it ends up sticking with you better on stage. Because there was I think there's only been once I had to learn a dance in 24 hours, and that dance is gone. It's like not in my brain at all. The day of the performance I made it work, but like it really, I don't know, the brain's like weird in that way, that like you kind of need little bits of something for a long time for it to really stick. And yeah, just learning it in little chunks over time really helps with that learning process. So yeah.
Right. Like learning a dance in 24 hours compared to like maybe like in a span of a week or 2 weeks. Like you need that muscle memory and like you need to like, you know, like know the motions like beforehand. Like I'm not a dancer, but like I guess
Ooh.
I'm just assuming, right?
Not even 1 to 2 weeks. I think the longest lead time I've had for one dance was 6 months.
Oh.
Yeah, because I mean, at that point, it is almost like when I did ballet as a kid, where someone could wake me up at 4 a.m. They're like, all right, you're doing Jump Into the New World right now. I could do it at 4 a.m. With that much lead time. But yeah, it really just depends on like the technicality of a dance. But I feel like the sweet spot, I feel like for my silly brain, is usually like 2 months. But I also, it's more because like I have an adult job. I have other things I do with my time that I kind of need a little bit more time to learn now versus when I was younger, where maybe like that 2 week mark I would have been like, this looks great, versus now I'm like, ooh, 2 weeks is not enough time. It's not enough time. But
Right.
it's different for everybody. Yeah.
You talked about masquerades. I'm kind of curious because like have I had guests that like before? Yeah, Barracuda performed in like a lot of masquerades, but I want to ask you, what's the difference performing in a masquerade versus like performing in an idol showcase?
Ooh, masquerades are real long days. Also, oh my god, Barracuda mention, let's go. Oh my gosh, masquerades are a whole nother beast. I need to talk clearly. Oh my god. They're long days. Sometimes I've been up at like 6 a.m. through like 1 a.m.
Ooh.
depending on the con. Because there's a long process when it comes to judging costumes. If you're sewing a costume, plus then the performance element or skit element that is going on stage later. And it ends up kind of feeling like a whole production almost. So typically conventions will call people in very early before the convention's usually even open to the public to kind of do sound checks and just making sure that like people's cues and lighting things are all kind of in order, because if anywhere's going to have the most AV people, it's going to be the masquerade for sure. Then usually, well, depending on the convention, there'll be some kind of like judging for costumes if you've made them, either the day before the event, if not the same day. You would get judged for your costume, and that is kind of a whole process of building a build book, kind of showing your samples, your process of how you've built your costume from like literally like concept, nothing idea to like a fully built thing. And I've seen people go really, really crazy with their build books. I'm not the right person to ask about that because ultimately when I've sewn costumes, it's been part of a larger group where like, yeah, I'll submit photos of things that I've worked on to like help kind of encompass the full larger book, but there's a lot of really good resources. And even at cons, especially in the New York City area, but I mean everywhere too, that a lot of really skilled cosplayers will show their process of how they build those books so that you can kind of like show months and months, if not years of work in just a simple to read book for people to look at. That's kind of just the craftsmanship side of things. Getting into performance day, they kind of, oh my god, I'm like choking on my own spit.
You're good.
Sorry. Day, when it gets to the performance or skit aspect of it, they kind of keep everybody around all day or for like large chunks of the day. So say if a masquerade starts at 5, I'm pretty much used to being there at like 2 p.m. to just kind of hang out. Like I'll bring food with me, just because they don't want to lose people, especially when it gets to the level of like say a Katsucon or Otakon, where those con centers are humongous. And if you get distracted enough with ADHD brain like me, sometimes, I mean, for someone who's there for the first time, they could just end up in the wrong spot and not be there on time. So it's kind of important to keep everybody near the stage area, and say if anything last minute is weird, that like they're able to address it with you in the room pretty much nearby. But it's such a fun time to like, I guess, like talk to other people and like hear their process and what they're going to do performance wise. Sometimes the competitive nature comes out a little bit, which is like something I notice less because there's no like hours upon hours of like waiting around like masquerades. But it brought out a different kind of like camaraderie that I guess is different than what I see in idol spaces. But you kind of hang out with everybody in the green room area, then they'll start lining everybody up to go up on stage. They go perform. There's kind of more time afterwards. They'll let you kind of hang out in the audience most of the time to watch everybody else's performances and everything, so you get to cheer them on. That's when I'd start mixing like a psychopath. But, like, and sometimes even like freak people out, because when I learned how to mix properly, like when I'm in competitive mode, so to speak, I'm usually just kind of like just sitting there like letting my thoughts kind of go crazy depending on the day. But the second someone was on stage, I would go in full fan mode, being like, yeah, like the whole thing. So that was like it's more fun to relax, and then the judges will kind of decide based on what people have submitted, who's doing what, if people will get bumped up categories, because especially nowadays I've seen a lot of people that they go above and beyond for their level of craftsmanship or performance, because you always end up entering initially based on, say, how many times you've competed or if you've won awards, whatever it might be. But that as you gain new skills, display more skills in your performance, costume, etc., you will get bumped up. But especially people need to stop downplaying idols, because I've seen some friends get bumped up a lot of times just from showing incredible craftsmanship, because some of these idol costumes are really, really fucking hard to make. Sorry, they're
You
really
can
hard
curse,
to
it's
make.
fine.
And so I, especially for times, I know depending on an event, people might say like, oh, but like idol stuff should be separate. I'm like, if they're making their own stuff, if they're showing a high level of performance or craftsmanship, I will be that person and be annoying to cons where I'm like, it should be in Masquerade, or well, as well as like idol space performances. Like, if a performer will know best where they want to be.
Right.
So that's why I feel like it's legitimate. People should take it seriously. And I don't know, it would be cool to see more original idols, especially because so many people are making their own costumes too. Get to bring that stuff in, but like, I don't run any events, so I can't tell them what to do. But the costume aspect of it, and just so much about it, it felt like a good kind of area. And like before the pandemic, I feel like to make your own cool stuff and perform and do the whole thing. But I'm glad to see that things have changed in terms of like, say if people don't make their own stuff or that they still want to perform but not have it be competitive all the time, that we have idle space for that as well, if that makes sense.
Right.
That was a really long tangent, but a lot to say on it. Yeah.
Barry says masquerades usually don't allow original designs, which makes original idols ineligible. Wow.
Yeah. No, that is true.
That kind of sucks though. Like,
You brained when I couldn't brain. Thank you.
but yeah, I was curious because like I've never been to a masquerade. I've seen like idol showcases, but like I've never been to a masquerade. So I was like really curious on that. I guess the differences. So yeah.
But I mean, it's also, they're fun to watch even if you've never like competed in them, because I feel like a lot of people will do like cool like prop related stuff or just like reveals. Like those are super fun too. Or even just like the things I've seen people create on stage are insane. There was one, I think they were cosplaying some visual novel. I'm mad I'm forgetting what it was called, but it was all like Victorian themed outfits and they were wearing these crazy ball gowns, but they made all the furniture and props and their costumes and wigs and the whole shebang, and of course they won awards 'cause they went crazy. And it was like very dramatic reading of like some part of the visual novel too. It was very, very cool. And I guess it's a different type of performance versus idol stuff, but I don't know, I still have fun seeing people's skits and performances and the whole shebang. So yeah.
I want to ask, like, what is your favorite series that you cosplayed in a group for?
Ooh. It's hard because at the end of the day, I do really like all the series I've cosplayed. I still feel like Revue Starlight is still my favorite though. That series, so much of it is about like when they're in the stage outfits, where basically it's like a kind of different type of uniform with the like over the shoulder red velvet jacket. So much of it is about like manifesting your soul and like fighting with all your might. And it's the way that like these costumes look so pretty when steamed, and like they have so many like beautiful gold elements and everything that just flow really well because they were designed in a way to work well as like an anime design as well as like a stage design, because that's the seiyus were performing, or still are technically performing, like live play adaptations along with like kind of more idol-y concerts and stuff with that series. So I've always felt the coolest in Revue outfits, like by far. Even I guess if technically there are some variations, and that was kind of more of like the mobile games like ever expanding universe of like how many different outfits can we make depending on the play / like I guess original source material that they're kind of taking inspiration from. And a lot of it was kind of like classical theater and stuff like that. So they have a lot more outfits in the mobile game, but even just the main series like battle uniforms are the coolest to me. So I really like them a lot.
I should really get into Revue Starlight. I remember when Tama talked about it during their episode. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I still haven't watched it.
You should watch it right now.
I should.
Now.
I have way too many anime that I need to watch, but yeah.
Even if you don't watch the anime, listen to the soundtrack. There's like so much pretty music, and it's similar, at least for me, in terms of like video game OST, because like all the background tracks are like kind of pushing you forward to like get through your work. So I always feel like, oh, I'm doing like final boss battle work with like the cool orchestral score in the back when I'm listening to that soundtrack. So even if you can't watch the show right now, even though it's 12 episodes in a movie,
That's
I'm
a
listening
good
to,
good
I'm
amount.
behind on
But
anime. It's
Yeah.
really good.
I wanted to ask, like, if you were gonna start your own cosplay idol group, what series would it be for? Would it be Review Starlight, or would it be like something else?
I feel like nowadays there's a lot more idol series, and I feel like it would be hard to kind of pin it down to like one particular series for like a long period of time. There's definitely some idol series that I feel like people haven't like cosplayed enough, or I guess like we're kind of on people's radar, but then either like the pandemic or just like other stuff going on kind of made them less well known here. I mean, I'm glad that I like manifested in the back of my brain hard enough for OnStars, because now everybody's doing OnStars, even though cosplayed OnStars more back in like 2022 when it was still like starting to blow up with the mobile game, but like not, I guess, as much as now. OnStars would be fun, but I know a lot of people are doing that. Idly Pride is one series I feel like a lot of people slept on, when they have a really great OST and like lots of little like fun subunits plus like bigger group numbers, and a lot of the costumes are really holographic and cool. So I feel like that would be a fun series to kind of make a little group around. I'm trying to think of what else, because there's like Aichu was also a fun moment. That was more of like a male idol group centric like mobile game. But that one, I don't know. I feel like the pandemic kind of made it like die out a little bit. Like even though they did get an anime adaptation and the whole thing, it's that series. I feel like Utano Prince Sama had the same problem. Where that series, oh my god, like the level of seiyuu from that game alone is like insane. And Mamoru Miyano is still one of my favorite seiyus because he did a little bit too good of a job on that show. But that series would be really fun to see people do more big dance numbers from, and it would be fun to do a group around it. There's just a lot of idols, especially in Utapri. There's a lot of idols. I think it's almost like, because the main group is 7 or 8, then there's Quartet Night, that's 4, and then Heavens is like 8 people now. Like it's it's a lot of people. But even just to rotate people around and do a lot of the really fun music and kind of spans a lot of different musical genres, I feel like that would be a fun series to make a group around. Yeah.
I see. Well, I'm mentally taking a note of those like series, so I can at least like try to watch them or try to get interested in them. So,
especially out of all of them, I'm like an Utapri truther. Even if you just watch the first season, I think the first season alone is worth it to watch. And it has its like dating game moment, but then it also has its like fun like idol stage moments later too. I think it's a fun time. Yeah.
well, we might as well get into the meat and potatoes of this show and talk about your solo activities. So,
cool. Yeah.
When did you specifically want to perform as a soloist, since you've done a lot of like group cosplay idol stuff? Like, when did you want that solo spotlight?
I think it was, well, around that Otakon Now Presenting showcase, because I had been going to more idol showcases and seeing people do original idol stuff. Like, it felt, I guess, it's hard to explain, but I felt for so long like I kind of had to keep it within a certain series or kind of match a certain character for like what kind of a bigger group would want to perform. But like the more I was like just diving deeper and deeper into like the idol like rabbit hole, there was just more music I would want to cover, and I would like sometimes bring it up to people as like who's a psychopath like me and wants to cover this one song from this show from like years and years ago. But sometimes like just to kind of keep a group on track, they would be like, that's really cool and I'm glad you want to do that, but like we only have so much money and time to kind of make these things happen. And seeing a lot of Kai Guy idols go and kind of curate their own show and be able to like convey the sorts of kind of messages or themes like to songs that they really enjoyed, and even sometimes perform music from series that are like less common. I just felt kind of silly that I was like, oh, this is a thing you can do. You can just kind of create your own show. It doesn't have to be so group oriented all the time. You can just kind of build your own show, build your own character persona, like idol persona, and then go and roll with it. So I ended up kind of picking a Jellyfish character because I like the idea of being able to jump around all over the place, like genre wise and themes and like the types of series I'm performing music from. But then still kind of like shock people to be like, I'm triggering nostalgia in your brain or you're feeling it right now. Like, I always try to throw some kind of curveball with it. It's almost like a jellyfish, like shocking people a little bit with something fun or something that they wouldn't expect from a typical idol performance with what I do.
Right.
So it just kind of feels like a moment to be like, oh, I have the steering wheel to the crazy idol bus we're on, and we're gonna go and explore different pathways to
Right.
cool performances that maybe, I guess, compared to like, I guess more like J-pop tradition, maybe wouldn't necessarily come off as like a full regular idol performance, but I still want to give that idol twist to the video game music, the Vocaloid music,
Yeah.
any song, idol, and also actual idol music that I perform. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you've carved your own niche with like the songs that you perform, because like when would you see like a idol perform Steins Gate, you know, or like, you know, play the viola? Yeah. But yeah, you definitely carved your own niche, and like it is good to see that there's people like doing, you know, original stuff like that.
Because I mean, or I can.
Oh, no, you're good, you're good.
Because I've
You're
thought
good.
about it a lot. Because especially I've seen like literal rabbit hole tweets about this. They're like, what makes an idol? Like, what is it about an idol? Because then I've seen it go from like, oh, like your anime series idol to like, oh, as long as there is a stage and you can stand on it, then like being a comedian is technically being an idol. Like there's like so much semantics about what constitutes an idol. For me, being an idol is like doing some kind of performance aspect on stage, and at least like from the places I get inspired from are more like J-pop, anime culture aligned. I know the one area I know I'm like lacking on a lot is more of like the stage costume bits of it, because I end up just going more K-pop because it's like it feels more gendered to me, but I want to have the campiness of the full idol costume and the frills and like crazy hair and the whole thing. But at least musically, I don't necessarily feel like, oh, there's one specific sound to an idol group. If anything, I really like groups that kind of push the boundary of like what makes an idol song, and like what are songs that are like acceptable for an idol to sing. Because I mean, you're on stage, you're creating it, and you're making it like energizing, or even like introducing audiences to new types of music. I'm like, for myself at least, I don't limit myself to just idol music. And proof I'm in New York because somebody's blasting music out there. Hope I didn't pick up too much. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
Did.
It's good.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, like it's good that like people are doing different stuff, and yeah. But I want to say, or I do want to ask, like, Otacon now presenting 2023. Was that your first solo performance?
In an idol context, yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it was a lot of pressure, and I feel like if I could go back now, I would like slap myself silly a little bit, being like, stop picking depressing songs. Like, yeah, these songs are cool, but like you can be a little happier up there. Because I ended up the cheeriest song from that set list. It's more, I have it open on my phone because I'm weird and I keep track of everything I've ever done just in like notes. But Boy by King Gnu, that song was really fun, and I felt like it was a good way to like throw kind of like the viola sound in there, and it kind of had the most whimsical sound out of everything from that set, because Gira Gira is so depressing.
Yeah.
It's such a good song, and you can kind of like scream out Kind of just like my frustration. But it was that and Dramaturgy by Eve.
Yeah.
Those songs were, I just wanted to be like, I still love J-Rock a lot. But I don't know where that frustration came from thinking about it now. But I was just getting a lot of like, energy out, if that makes sense. But it was still just to like try to present something different on stage. I think my only difference now was just to do something a little bit more, like, take a fun twist with it instead of just being like, this is me, this is my idol, I'm throwing it in your face. Even if, because I'm just not sure if everybody knew the Gita Gita lyrics. Like, some of it is just like, oh, look at me, my ugly face in the mirror, and I'm like self-reflecting in a crazy way. But maybe I guess I needed to let it all out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it's good to vent.
it was cool. It was cool to vent, but I mean, now I'm like, maybe let's do a little bit less of that. But it was kind of a strong first statement to kind of throw out on stage. Yeah.
Were you like really dead set on debuting at Now Presenting, or did you wanted to debut at like a different event?
I think that event too. I saw that it was a thing that was happening, and I applied more just to see if they would even consider the performance, I guess, because it was so out of the box for what people typically would do on the Idol stage, I guess. So kind of went at it like it wasn't something like I had to get into or anything. It was like, let me pitch this idea. Is this something that makes sense for the stage? And even just to kind of see for myself, like, is this the type of stage I want to continue performing on? Or like, am I just gonna like shrivel up on stage and be like, oh, I'm not in a costume, I can't like add 50,000 pounds of makeup to my bald head to like be someone else? I had to like fully kind of come face to face with the fact I'm like, this is me, this isn't a character. How do I want to represent myself on stage? And is this something that like I felt comfortable with? And honestly, I still felt the rush, if not more so than before. So it felt worth doing and continuing to do until now, basically.
So we talked about your set list, but like you split it up into 3 different sections. So Boy by King Gnu with the viola, Dramaturgy by Eve with the dance. Oh wait, that's after. But like, and then in the middle was Gira Gira by Ado with the vocals.
Yeah.
Like you wanted to showcase like the viola and then the vocals and then the dance, right?
And part of that was because, and to this day, every time I go on stage, I feel like I have a hard time singing right away, because I end up just looking into the audience and being like, oh my god, that's a lot of people. Whoa, I have to speak to them. And then even being like, I'll start stumbling upon my words more. And so for that performance, I'm like, let's try to avoid sounding too crazy the second I get on stage. So the viola was kind of a way to like get more adjusted to it, because I guess I was more used to having small things like a lot of string players. I don't have one on my desk today, man. I have like little stress balls that I will squeeze to get pressure out of my hands. Like for me, that's kind of been the easiest way for me to get all the stress out before I go on stage. But kind of putting the viola first, I'm like, okay, even if I'm shaking out of nerves, it'll just come through and say like the vibrato on the instrument instead of like in my voice being like like singing like really cryptic and crazy, just from being really nervous. But then kind of I figured through kind of playing that song first would get the nerves out, and then be grounded enough and like being like, I guess, standing on stage long enough to be able to feel like I could talk to people, which is a little silly, but I still think about that a lot even now, because the more comfortable you can be, even like I had some string teachers tell me like, oh, walk out on stage anytime you're performing like in the BPM that you're performing at to like ingrain it in your brain. But like, I don't know if they were just telling me that because they figured I would like forget part of the notes or something. But trying to think of every possible way to like lock yourself in, like mentally and physically, before going to do something. So that's why I would put the singing second and then dance later, because I was like, oh, finally, by that point, probably sweating buckets. And just wanting to let all the energy kind of explode out. So that's why I kind of went with the dance last. And even that song I wanted to sing so bad, but dramaturgy is like a million words a minute.
Yeah, it
I've
is.
seen people try to do it. Even in like Haka, he tried to sing that on some karaoke a while back, and I'm like, and he's insane. Like,
Yeah,
he's like
his vocals are
vocal
great.
Oshi for
Yeah.
sure. Oh my god, Haka. But even if it's a song that like even someone as good as him is struggling with just to get the words through, I'm like, if I was gonna dance and do all that, that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, nah.
So I ended up just dancing that one. But I guess I want to challenge myself more going forward to like combine those, like the elements, say like viola and dancing or like singing and dancing. I don't know if there's a weird third combo between those things, but because at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of songs give performers the room to do those things. It's hard to train different skills, like versus separating them out into different sections to kind of like really highlight one particular skill. That combining them gets a little tricky, and then you kind of have to sometimes compensate for being like, hi, I'm a human, I need to breathe. Sometimes these songs you really can't breathe a lot. I'm looking at Project Sekai music because some songs were really hard to even try to perform as one singular person while singing and dancing, but kind of have to start compensating for things. So the more things you combine on stage, the harder it gets to like to make it all be like studio perfect, 100% very cool, like that kind of thing.
I feel like
If that makes sense.
like separating the three skills to three different songs is a good way to like showcase each skill primarily, because like I mean, like it's good to focus on like each one separately, you know, but
It also just helped me lock in where I'm like, okay, one skill we focus on at once. I guess it was kind of more for, well, both an opportunity to showcase different skills, but then also so that I would just lock in on one thing and be like, ooh, that's over. Let's go lock in on something else for like 3 to 4 minutes and then lock in on final skill, that kind of thing.
When you went on stage, what was the crowd's reaction to you like getting the viola and like the stool on stage?
Oh, the stool? I have a friend of mine who's a trombone player. To this day, she brings up the stool because well, bringing the viola on stage, I'll go back to your initial question, was something people weren't expecting, and they were just kind of like, oh, is this gonna be like something super serious? Because even there's a friend of mine who actually performed as the girl from Your Lie in April, the Masquerade back in the day. This maybe it was like 2018, 2019. But she played a really hard violin solo she had been working on in conservatory and then died on stage afterwards. So like people might have had preconceptions from performances like hers, basically. That was like Spunky Mango who did that. But also she's such a good violinist if you've ever heard her play. That people might see a string player and assume they're gonna play something super serious. They're gonna play a crazy concerto and then just walk off and be like dramatic about it. I wanted to break that expectation immediately. So playing something more fun was something I wanted to do from the start, even when people were surprised with the instrument coming out. But the stool was more because it just felt like Gita Gita would be a song that like you would see, say, on like a restaurant or like local performance stage,
open
and that
night.
you would just kind of be like, yeah, like a late night thing, and you're like, hey everybody, like maybe not actually a couple drinks in because this was at a convention, but like to replicate that kind of energy a little bit of like, how's everybody doing out there, and everybody's just yapping with their friends or whatever, and just singing like a soulful song, but then in a more relaxed way. But then because it was a convention and obviously not a bar or something, bringing out the stool, people were like, stool, 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 and like cheering for the stool, and I was like, oh my god, like they're cheering more for the stool. But it was fun to bring out. And then when I had to put it away, people were sad. They're like, no, bring it back. It was just a fun audience dynamic that I just wasn't expecting. And now I'm so jealous. It's my brother's stool. Because my brother used to play the double bass, and he would use that for school and whatnot. And I wish it was my stool, but it's not. But I have to steal that back from him.
Yeah.
If only I could bring it to a con that can't be named.
Very
I
unknown
don't know if I
con.
can name it.
I don't
Very
know
unknown
either.
con.
Yeah.
Because I can't drive there. It's really far, and I don't know how. I
Who
would even
knows?
drive there, but if I could bring the stool, that would be it'd be a good comeback. Yeah.
So you performed all 3 songs.
Mm-hmm.
How were you feeling like going off stage after that?
Ooh, off stage. I remember just like shaking like crazy, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like that was so. It felt so different. Performing for like that period of time, just like by myself, and at first feeling like, "Oh, did I mess up? Like, oh my God, was it enough for people? Like, was this like the kind of show that people would want?" But then almost taking the nervous jitters out, and then kind of taking a deep breath in, and being like, "No, but this was so much fun," and this was the kind of energy I wanted to kind of bring out more often. And even though I was so afraid and thinking like, is this even going to be something people would want to see? It felt like a good way of like exposure therapy to get myself out there. And I felt really, even just like proud that I even made it out on stage like that in general. So it was a big ball of emotions, but it was ultimately a positive one, not like, oh, they're gonna tell me to go back in the practice room, like or whatever. I wasn't that. It was just feeling really proud of getting out there. Yeah.
You also participated like the year after in 2024. I think it was Annabeat in Otakon, right?
Mm.
How
Yeah.
how did you feel from that performance compared to like your very first performance there?
Ooh, any beat. I definitely felt less nervous, but it was more of, oh, this is like the premiere idol stage for Otakon. And so I kind of felt like responsibility of like, no, if I'm going to be on this stage, I want to take everything to the next level. Sing more complicated songs, do more complicated dances, stick to my concept, another novel idea. And that was, and I definitely like felt it more from like the amazing idols that were also on that stage too, of being like, whoa, I feel like I'm around people that like I look up to, and it's like the real deal. The imposter syndrome definitely came up a little bit, because I just kind of gone not like 1 year apart, going from not presenting to any beat right away. Especially when some people have been performing for like way longer than I had to. But I just tried to swallow the fear as best I could and try some new stuff. And even some of the songs I picked, it was more because I had seen like my VTuber Oshis at the time like hype it up, like especially Beyond the Way. I feel like I conquered the fear because my Oshi was like, it was his favorite Project Sekai song. And he was like, oh, it'd be so cool to go to a con and see somebody perform it one day. And I took the brain rot and the brain worms, and I was like, it's like I'm performing for my Oshi, even though he's not even here. And that I don't even think he knows well, I don't know if he thinks I'm real or like whatever. It felt like the delusion of like, I'm performing for my VTuber, or something that like would make my VTuber Oshi proud, even if like the whole time I was like, am I even gonna do everything right? Am I gonna like be worthy of like that kind of Annie beat stage? I hate that. I sometimes have to make my brain do weird loop-de-loops to like feel like, no, this is worth it. This is worth the time, and the energy I'm putting in is worthwhile.
I mean,
something people want to see. Yeah,
it's good to have like that motivation, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
if it comes
you
out
first.
your
You
way for
first.
me.
Oh. But yeah, like it's good that like you got promoted to Annie Beat a year later. So.
And it's something I want to see how people like kind of help that stage blow up as time goes on. I'm the type of person, I'm almost like, I don't know if I would even apply to Annie Beat again unless I like start doing backflips or something really cool. But even just because I feel like so many idols are innovating in ways like my silly little brain could have never thought of. And almost like I just want to see how big that stage blows up and how many more people can attend it. Like almost like the masquerade, in that like it's something people want to actively look forward to going to. And so I don't mind being that person where I'm like, oh, I might apply again, maybe not next year, but like later down the line. But help be part of like the momentum to get people hyped about idol performances, and Otakon being such a great place for people to like either make their start or continue performing, whatever it might be. Because like just Annie Beat's so cool. Everybody's so cool. I love going every year. It's so much fun.
I really need to go to Otakon next year. Hopefully, maybe.
You need to go to Otakon.
It's definitely one of the, like, one of two major idol fests in the U.S. So definitely have to. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So we talked about Otakon 2023, 2024, but there was one, I guess, idol showcase, idol event that you participated in that didn't really have an idol audience, kind of, but it was MagFest 2025 Super Idol Show. Pew 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 pew. Yeah, this was the first time MagFest had an idol showcase. How did you feel about applying for it?
I was just so excited MagFest had idol stuff to begin with. I initially only started going to that con for the video game orchestra, because it was the sort of thing you could just fill out a Google form and just pull up and play like newly arranged music by people that are like from say like college students to like active like original composers, and even getting some of the original voice actors to sing along with the orchestra. It was just such a cool group to even just like hop in for a weekend. So I'd gone to MagFest for the first time 2024. That was really cool, but it felt like the second it was announced they were doing an idol show in 2025, I was like, oh, when worlds collide. So I sat down and thought for a really long time about what I wanted to perform, because yes, the audience very much was not idol people. Obviously, like there's been some people like who do like idols already go to MagFest. Like there's definitely that kind of crew of people. But a majority of the audience kind of goes because they're into gaming, they're into music festivals, and it just felt like, whoa, I need to lock in and pick some really cool stuff to perform for that stage, because the audience might not necessarily like know idol shows as much, or kind of know what to expect. And so I ended up going with Steins Gate's, like the game's original opening, because I feel like I haven't heard people cover it in a very, very long time. And every inkling in my brain was like, oh, you could just do like the anime opening.
Hack it to the gate.
Like hacking to the gate. Because
everyone
knows
does
that
it.
one. And
yeah. Pomu did it.
yeah. No, geez, I wonder who I was inspired by to cover Steins Gate. Maybe Pomu. Because I really enjoy the series as well, but I felt like because it was a video game audience, and maybe there was going to be like the couple of visual novel fans. I didn't want to say two, because there's more visual novels. That would be like, wait a darn second, I know that from the original game that came out in 2000 whatever. But to kind of like perform a cool song that has like really cool syncopation and everything from the original game, especially because so much of the show was really themed around video game music specifically, or like how can we take video game music and put it into a more idol context, was kind of what I kind of gathered from what the idol show staff were kind of looking for performances. So I did that song, and then Promare. The Promare was more because a certain host from that showcase really loves Promare a lot, and we bonded about it a lot pre-pandemic. And so it was like a bucket list song, and I was like, oh well, like if the Steins Gate music already kind of has a rock theme going on, let's just amp it up even more with Promare. And I'm glad that people knew it. I was so afraid. I'm like, did everybody move on from Promare and all the fun music it had? And it was fun talking to people afterwards. They were like, what do you mean you were performing Promare in God's Year 2025? And I'm like, I haven't forgotten. It was so good. And I guess it's fun yapping with people, even being like, oh, this wasn't something I expected to hear at MagFest. So it was fun interacting with that crowd. And even just seeing like rooms that typically at Katsucon don't have a full built out stage with lighting and AV and the whole thing, like getting that kind of treatment, it felt like, oh, finally. To have it be, even if we're not on like the bigger, say like main event stage that like can still take this seriously and still make it a fun experience for people, if that makes sense. So it was really fun. It was really, really fun. And I encourage more people to do it, because I don't know if people necessarily know that they have it going on, but I guess this will be 2026 will be the second year that they'll have it. So like, go apply, go make it a cool stage. Everybody go apply. Yeah.
Were you just restricted to 2 songs, or did you like one? Was there more more room to more room to do more songs? My God, my head is all over the place. But
we had a certain time limit. I am completely blanking on what it was, but I really didn't want to crop down the music for that performance because it was a little bit shorter of a time frame. So, because I guess when getting a shorter performance slot, there's like, I always end up doing like, or going into autopilot with like the 2 ways of like kind of adding music to it. You could either kind of do a bunch of like really short songs in snippets, or fit 2 really solid songs and they're mostly full duration, and that was kind of the route I went with it. More because I hate that like lyrics are still kind of a weakness for me, and I get really mad about it because like sometimes I'll be up there and I'm like, I know what the notes are, but I can't just go and sing notes. Like I would like viola, like there's less of a lyric thing going on. That's like my one kryptonite still. So I picked the 2 songs to be like, no, I want to be really solid on the lyrics, be able to perform them really well. And even if it's less songs in, say, a different set, or like how other people would kind of like put together their showcase time, I felt like it was kind of the best way for my brain and like to kind of keep people, I guess, like more focused in for longer periods of time versus just throwing like shorter snippets of different songs at once. Yeah.
I feel like that's the better decision, to have like 2 full songs instead of, I guess, OP size, like 5 different OP size songs, right?
Because especially and it's like the mixed part of my brain that like I was like, no, I have to keep these instrumental breaks in, because especially the end of the Steins Gate opening, there's like a full section you could probably like, oh well, it wasn't World Chaos, no, or even like the Sekai de Ichiban aishiteru, like you could do that full chant. In that section, I felt like the original composers wrote it out that way that you could mix to it very easily, and so I was like, why would I take that away from people? Because especially I get frustrated like if I'm in an audience for somebody's show and say like it's a TV version plus a couple seconds or something, and I'm like, I was so ready to mix, I was ready to go like like I was ready to do the whole thing, but if that part is like taken out, then I get sad because I want to mix. So I was trying to find the right sweet spot and making sure that like if people wanted to mix, which like next year everybody should mix, I will mix with you, I swear I will mix, to kind of schedule it or kind of lay out the songs in that way almost. But at the end of the day, it was so people could mix if they wanted to.
Yeah, hopefully MagFest has another idol showcase next year. We'll see. But
yeah.
A little bit of side tangent, but like back in 2024, there was a video of you in the MagFest orchestra with I think like a pomu thingy on your head, right? and that got viral.
Mhm.
People retweeted it. I think that was like a couple days after Pomu graduated, right? Or way before.
No, it was the day after.
Day after.
It was
Oh.
literally she graduated on Friday, and we were I knew people, we were watching it at the con, and we were like, oh my god, she's gone. To that Saturday morning, performing Snake Eater with Cynthia Harris there. So it was kind of a joint effort between me and a couple of friends that we were all like, how can we honor her? Because like she's gone, we're losing her. Which no comment about how true
Oh
that is.
yeah.
But it was so silly. I ended up having like a yellow face mask on me because I still wanted to mask at the con. And that I had brought my Pomu headband just to wear around the con casually when I wasn't in cosplay. And it ended up, even the yellow mask was originally for like a review Starlight cosplay thing, but I was like, wait, this looks like the Pomudachi, and then I could wear the headband and it could be like a whole thing. I knew some friends that were dressed up as Snake, so like just for her, and then even bringing their little like Pomu Papis with them everywhere, and we ended up being able to put it on Cynthia's mic stand. So that was another moment, because the video I retweeted, and I just happened to record myself playing just to kind of like see like, oh, how do I sound like with the orchestra, and like people, a lot of instrumentalists will kind of record themselves performing music just to kind of like hear how they sound or share it if they were doing like a cool lick or something really crazy during a performance. I ended up just retweeting my friend who was like, look, there's Pomu, it's on Cynthia's mic stand, but being like, oh, but then I also had fun being a little like Pomudachi in the sea of people playing. And especially, I feel so bad for my stand partner, which he was like a viola YouTuber and everything too, like that I was like crying my eyes out. I cropped the video so I wasn't like crying during the bit I shared, but it was so emotional. And she's such a good singer too, that like the whole time I'm like, yes, Snake Eater, trying not to cry. But that MagFest, even like besides the video and people being like, you're pretty good, and then me being like, oh my god, I'm being perceived a lot more than I thought I was going to initially, that it just felt like a big moment for everybody to come together and just like, not like respect the dead, it's so funny in comparison now, but just like to perform an honor for her, and
Right.
to just really show how much she meant to us as a fandom. Even though like I felt so bad, I should have been more active in chat back then.
I
should have been a lurker. I shouldn't have been a lurker, because like
Yeah.
she's like one of, if not one of my favorite, like my favorite VTubers, in
Right.
whatever form she might be into this day.
Who knows if
I try to keep the mystery around it, but she's someone I so highly respect. So I just wanted to do her justice when
Yeah.
she just graduated, basically.
Cuz
So yeah.
that video was when I first discovered you. I might have followed you because of that, or like I might have followed you a little bit later, because like I was trying to find Kaiga idols in the US, and I'm like, oh wait, you do stuff too, so you're on my radar for
Yeah.
a little while. But yeah, but with Pomu was the inspiration for me to like, or her graduation was basically the inspiration for me to go to an idol show in Japan. So I'm like, yeah. Yeah, so without her, IDOLEYEZ wouldn't have existed. So yeah.
But I feel like she mentally pushed me along too, because I went for Aquar's final live this year, which I mean my wallet is still recovering. But it was such a fun trip. But that going on that trip, I ended up seeing Heidi's group.
Oh, normal.
Literally right before day one, and the energy that the live house had in there, like Aquar's, I mean that crowd of 20,000 people, like they went ham. But like I was so surprised being in such an intimate, it was like 100-person venue, like 5 different groups performing, and some of them were like metal adjacent, and then Heidi's group kind of being more like rock inspired out of everything Merkamal. But oh my, it just hits different when you're in that kind of crowd that like they're going insane for their Oshis and like doing the lifts and seeing people fall over, but they don't care. They keep getting back up and jumping up again to go be with their Oshis, or as close to their Oshis as they legally probably can be. It's something like, if not for Pomu, I don't know if I would have ever experienced that, or even like known to go out of my way to look for more shows like that. to experience. And I just like love them. And I'm so thankful to have like watched her streams or continuing to watch her in whatever form she might be in today.
Yeah, who
But, like,
knows?
but she, yeah, I feel like if not for her, I wouldn't have done that either, honestly. So
Yeah, she probably like inspired a lot of people to get into idols, hopefully. But yeah,
it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Credit card debt is worth it. For
it is
Take it
actually.
don't take it from me. Don't take it from me.
Take it from
But
me.
It's
Go into debt.
no.
Yeah.
Don't go into debt, but get into idols. Get into idols.
Get into idols, yes. But might as well get into the final section of the interview, future / retrospect. What would you consider your favorite performance that you've done?
Ooh, my favorite Magfest is up there, but also even Annie Kai Volume 1 in Philly was really fun too. That was kind of the first time with MS Paint and Harmony and Love and Dula that we were kind of having our own like names on like a playbill almost. And it was like weird for me. I'm like, oh my god, is like, have I made it? Have we made it? Because like we're on like a separate show, like outside of a con and everything. And just being able to make it really fun and goofy, and we're running around on a little stage and everything. We were at this bar, Kung Fu Thai, and I was like so surprised at how much cool stuff was in there, and just the atmosphere and the audience and everybody that was there just made it like feel really intimate and special for like a first time doing kind of like a booked show like that. So those two kind of stick out in my mind as like my favorite performances so far.
Yeah. You sent me like B-roll of you performing, I think, Muso Express from that event, and I was like, oh my god, yeah. So
That song, yeah, it's so good. I may or may not have had a period of time. It was a couple weeks. I was listening to it like on repeat all day. Not literally, but like I would listen to songs in between. But I'm like, but Muso Express hits hard. I want to hear it again. And then like the Zamba.
yeah.
It's good. Even though I'm mad I have not finished the Monogatari series.
I haven't either.
I need to finish it. Even getting through all of what that series is, and
It's too much.
I want to get through it. Yeah.
I finished like Bake, and then that was it. And like back then, the order was Bake, Nisei, Neko, and I think that was it. And now there's so many, so many sequels.
No, I know. And I know that the fan translations make it easier to digest all of the like literary, but like the book references plus the visual storytelling and then the cultural context and everything. I'm like, I want to understand. Because even Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei kind of has that similar like storytelling method too, but that I just need to like sit down and find time to like dig into that. But yeah.
In contrast to that, what would you consider your toughest performance?
The toughest performance. I mean, solo performance wise is kind of hard. Well, I guess technically Otakon this year in the idol space because I didn't sleep.
Oh.
I didn't sleep before going on stage. So even though I had such a blast performing with Sapphire as well as Nai from Yabaidaru with everybody, I crashed so bad because I didn't sleep at all. I think I might have been awake for like 30 hours by that
Oh my
point.
god.
And I stumbled to my room. Even I wanted to see Non-Sweets so bad, and I, in my like sleepless nature, walked into the room, like watched them do their first couple of songs, and then like was so sad because I'm like, I'm gonna pass out on the floor if I don't sleep. So I now know, don't drink big dunky coffee on the way to a con because especially caffeine, me and caffeine, we like duke it out sometimes. It was that among other things. I didn't have enough sleep, so I felt like I didn't do my best. So Otakon this year was probably my toughest. Just not sleeping before going on stage is just a big no. Even in comparison to, like, say if you're on stage and you can barely hear yourself, I would much rather do that than trying to go in there on no sleep.
I mean, that's a little better because
Yeah.
at least you're energized a little bit compared to not being at all.
Yeah. So just, and then trying to bring or move your body around when you're just really sluggish, and like, I don't know, I feel like when you don't sleep you just like feel insane. So like, especially I just don't know how people get up there and perform without sleeping, or just do anything without sleeping in general. Sleep, I need it. So yeah.
Is there any songs that you want to perform in the future?
Ooh, oh my god. I've really wanted to do some Sheena Ringo songs.
Ooh.
Because she's such an icon, and her music is so hard. It's so hard. There is one I have in mind. There was one song that every time I try to sing it I cry. It was one she did for like a life insurance company.
What?
And, like, who was it? Elle Fox who had to tell me that. She's like, that's like, or sorry, they told me, like, that's for like a commercial. Like, that's not like, even though she's saying like, "Kore wa jinsei, watashi no jinsei," like, even though it's so dramatic, and the way that the band instrumentals come in later is like so cool, that at the end of the day it was for a commercial. But I'm like, she went so hard for what? There's that song and one other song, I don't want to spoil it, but it was, people have covered it for anime before, that I want to cover from her because it goes really hard, including the Rakugo anime. The title's really long, I'm just forgetting the whole thing right now. That song I really want to do. I don't think I can say the name of the song without flagging your account. That's why I haven't.
Oh, okay.
It's double rope. Ooh,
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm not saying the word. That song of hers I really want to cover. Wanted to do more Ado for sure. Because maybe not necessarily the music from the One Piece movie, but like some of her new original music I've really wanted to try. But some of them are like 5-6 minutes long, and that's kind of hard. But some of her music for sure. I have a whole crazy list. I think at one point I want to, ironically but also unironically, do Unravel.
Oh.
Because it was in college. Well, there's so many arcs I could ramble about, but I'm not gonna go through it. I used to run an anime club in college. We would do karaoke, and I would unironically sing it, and they would just be like, "Why are you singing it all the time?" But it's really fun, and I memify it, even though the lyrics are also kind of depressing. But that's kind of one I'd want to give it a whirl again, even though everybody memes it.
Like when I did karaoke solo in Japan, Unravel would be in my set. I would just sing
Oh my
Unravel.
God.
So yeah.
It's hard though.
Yeah.
TK. Oh my god, these vocals are insane.
Yeah.
I think those are kind of the ones that come to mind right away. If not, it'd be fun. You know what? Actually, if other Kaikai idols who are watching, if any of y'all want to do iLife, I'm looking at you.
Oh,
I
I
want to
think
do iLife so bad.
I think there's a lot of like, or some Kaiga idols that are into iLife. So yeah.
Like, please, let's cover iLife together, please. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pinku's like into that group. Yeah.
I feel like I've only gone on the hype train recently, and the heartache is terrible, but the music goes too hard, so I'm willing to fight through it to go and cover it. So I'm looking at people that in Uma Musume.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'm looking at people. I'm looking at people. Yes.
Strike the Iron when it's hot, and also like it got really popular. So, and they have like really good songs too.
Because I feel like Narita Bryan is just like front of mind right now. But I just think she's a cool horse. Yeah.
Do you have like any bucket list goals that you want to achieve before the year ends, or in general?
Before the year ends, and I'm trying to manifest it into words so hard. I want to release original music so bad. Because I've just seen how much amazing music people have like released in this community, and I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna reinvent the wheel or just try to like convey emotions from kind of jumping into this like head first a little bit. But I do want to try to release a new song, if not by the end of the year, kind of like first little bit into 2026. So I'm trying to speak it out and like manifest it into the world. But yeah, that is a big goal of mine.
Yeah. I mean, like, I really like original music, so yeah. Please.
Yes.
Whenever.
That is the plan. I'm attempting to cook as we speak. But I don't want to give a date yet, because time management is hard. But I am working on new music. Yeah.
Since a lot of idols watch this show for some reason, do you have any?
Don't say that. This is fun. This is a cool show.
Do you have any?
See
Do you have any general advice that you would want to give them?
Ooh. I feel like one thing, I guess, is to not overthink it. If you're planning a performance and it feels like something you would have fun doing, chances are you are not the only person that would think that your set list is banger and that you should do it. So don't overthink it. Just do it. That kind of energy. And I guess that like it's easy to kind of get wrapped in your own head about your performance or what you want to be as an idol or like how you leave your mark in the world, but like I feel like significantly less insane when like hashing out ideas with other people or even just kind of like emotionally connecting over the fact that like we are involved in this community and like to perform and do the whole thing. So you're never alone. Always talk to people. Yep, go crazy, have fun. And especially like, I mean, you're doing this to have fun, so I'd say just go rush forth into the world, manifest what the kinds of performances and the things you want to see. Like, bring them forth into the world and have fun. Yeah.
I see. Is there anyone in the Kaiga idol scene that you look up to?
I get so embarrassed talking about people I look up to, because some people, like, seeing them in person changes how much somebody can mean to you. So I feel like Phoebe is one person I really look up to a lot, but I get so embarrassed to say it, and I've seen her and like performed on the same stages as her a few times, but I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous to say anything. I really want to meet Paida someday. It would be really cool. She's very cool. I guess, and someone I regret I wish I could have seen while they were still active. Melancholia?
Yeah.
Melancholia. They are, I've just like gone back and watched clips and I'm like, they're just so cool. And like, that's like the kind of gender, I would want to show on stage. And I'm just sad I didn't get to see them while they were still kind of active here.
Right.
So those are kind of people I look up to. Yeah.
Those are pretty good pretty good influences, so
Mm.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I want to meet Paida someday. It sucks that I can't go to Texas on October 4th,
I know. I have to go to work, go to the office. I wanna be there so
yeah.
just really cool. One day I'm trying to like manifest,
Manifest
like,
it,
oh my
like-
god, Paida, you should come to the East Coast
Paida,
right now.
West Coast again, please.
True. Go do a world tour. Go crazy.
Like, how long do you want to keep at this?
I guess I'm saying and that's not really helping. There's certain stages I've wanted to perform at, especially West Coast. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink.
But I guess it's kind of when I've felt like I've expressed everything I've wanted to share on stage. So it's not really like I don't really have like a clear time period of when I would stop because even I guess like there's literal proof of like some idols being moms and then still coming back on stage. Like I don't think there's a strict time limit as to when someone should like stop being an idol, so I don't want to put that limit on myself either. I guess it's more I've thought about kind of changing the type of stage I perform on in a metaphorical sense. So even if I know I won't be a Kai Guy idol forever, I still want to perform as long as I can, because certain statements I think about a lot is that an artist or even a dancer always dies twice. It's the first time they die is when they aren't able to perform anymore, and then when their body actually withers away. And that's it's such a depressing statement, but like it's a quote that I've just heard a lot from BTS to my school dance teacher mentioning. So anything I can do to still be creative, to still perform in some capacity, even if I'm old, or if it's not necessarily the form as a Kai Guy idol, I still want to just share that energy and put out into the world, basically, for as long as I can.
I feel like a lot of Kai Guy idols just want to do this until the wheels fall off, so.
No, but I don't want it to be like a bubble that pops. Like more Kai Guy idols, the better, 100%. So I want to see more people do this and go crazier with it.
So if you time traveled, present day you time travel to, I don't know, 2023 before now presenting, and you talk to yourself right before they went on stage, what would you tell them?
I'd probably like hold their hands or hold the instrument for a second, like to make sure they weren't shaking, and being like, you're gonna be okay. It's not as scary as you think. And even if you overthink every little every single movement, every single artistic decision, that it's gonna be okay, and you're gonna have a lot of fun with it as time goes on, is kind of what I would say. But so much of the energy would be like, you're doing okay, sweetie. Don't freak out, it's okay.
Gotcha. Well, do you have any, like, this is now the section where you can chill whatever you want, so do you have any upcoming performances that are made public?
Well, made public is the hard part, because there's 2 of them, but they're not public yet. Well, the first one, I guess now is almost a month out. I keep wink, wink, nudging, nudging about a West Coast thing. That's happening. Can't wait to be able to say, like, fine, it's public now. But it's not. I will be West Coasting soon, which is very cool. The second thing, which I guess I have not been obvious about at all, actually, is I think we're doing a birthday live this year. It's not gonna be just me. Gonna have some other cool people involved, because there's another idol who's very colorful and very cool from near me that our birthdays are literally a week apart. So we're gonna do a birthday thing in December. So if you're somehow in the New York tri-state area, we're doing a birthday thing. So please save, and I should know the date, but oh my god, my brain, it is almost 10 p.m. December 13th. Keep that in your calendar.
12/13.
But we'll share more when we can. Yeah.
So this concludes the interview part of the episode, but every single time we have to end the episode with a segment called The Worst Pep Talk Ever, where I have to give the guest a bad pep talk for a minute, and it sucks, and people like this for some reason.
I want to hear your pep talk. I want to hear you go crazy.
All right. Minute.
Oh, let's go. Okay.
Ash, I really love your performances. I really love that you play the viola, and it's really unique, and I want to see you perform in real life in front of my eyes. Someday, whenever that happens.
Look at you.
But you really, like I did say in the intro, that you are a triple threat of talent, and I do mean that, like with the viola, with vocals, and with choreo. So I really do want to see you in person. Yes, but like I
What?
Yeah, before like we did the interview, I was watching the now presenting set and then also the Magfest set. Like I was watching that and I really liked it. I really want to see you. But yeah, and hopefully
Come to the East Coast.
I can't, too much money. But I hope you release original music whenever that comes, and I will definitely love it and stream it. And I hope for the best for everything that happens in your Kaiga Idol journey, activities, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Minute 10.
Keep saying yeah. Woo. Oh my god. Not the way my brain, until you said triple threat, I was like, what? I forgot. Because I forgot that was a thing until literally just now, but it's a thing that people say.
Yeah,
but
I think that's a K-pop
I usually
thing.
don't.
I think people call
Yeah.
Seulgi a triple threat, and like
No, but she
who
is.
else? Yeah, she is.
Like, I am not worthy. I didn't even
You
talk
are!
about K-pop that much. Oh my god. Seulgi. My Oshi. Even though I guess bias for Red Velvet. Oh my god. She's such
She's-
an inspiration. But like, she feels like triple threat. That's her. That's her. We gotta work on that a little bit. Because especially Monster, I've tried to learn it. Naughty, I've tried to learn it. I don't know how they do all
that's
that. Like,
that
and
is
everything.
difficult choreo. Yeah.
She's insane. Like,
Yeah.
I love her. She's insane. Oh my god. But triple threat, I'm like, that's her.
That's
I'm
also
not
you.
speaking the words that you're gonna tell me I shouldn't say. Of like, you're not worthy. No, I won't say it. But I would want to be as cool of a triple threat as her. Is what I'm gonna try to say instead. Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully I get to see you whenever that time may come. Who knows when that
I
might
wonder
be?
when it will be. Maybe around the big holiday in October.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have the money to go crazy, I'll be there going crazy with you. I just don't want to get in trouble. I'm trying
I
to get in
like
trouble.
I have no idea if like no one has been announced for this aside from the main stage guests, so I'm gonna tell you to not say anything.
I can't confirm or deny that I will be in the state of California.
Right.
No,
but yeah,
I mean, it should be if you're in
if you're in the
depths
know,
of Idol Hell along with us, then you know where we'll be.
yeah, you know. But yeah, if you haven't followed Ash, there is their card where you can follow their Instagram, their Twitter, their not LinkedIn, their
LinkedIn, I was gonna be like, huh?
their MySpace, their everything is on there, even their YouTube. So watch everything on there. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
yeah.
try to make it less dead, I swear. There may be really cringe vlogs from when I was in college on there. You can watch them if you want.
We love KCON.
We're gonna fix them. KCON was fun though. I miss it when it was in New York. It was so much fun, but I also understand why they probably can't bring it back. But I'm gonna claw hand the end until the freaking end of time. 'Cause it was so much fun when it was here, and the year they brought 17 Twice Day 6 BTS in 2016. We're never gonna have peak like that ever again.
No. I was there for my very first K-pop concert was KCON 2017. So that would have been G-Friend.
Whoa.
G-Friend was like the sole girl group there, so yeah. We
I
miss
miss
G-Friend.
them too.
I mean, like they reunited, and then we're back to the trio, and like everyone else is doing solo stuff. So
Which, like, I'm happy they're still performing, but like, it's not the same.
it's not the same, though.
It's not the same. Okay, it's fine.
R.I.P. my alt
I'm
group.
still sad about it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but
I'm,
yeah.
if anything, I'm just surprised EXO's coming back.
Oh my God, yeah,
Giving up.
that's crazy. In the year 2025, we got EXO come back.
They were my first K-pop concert at Prudential, and I was like a cringe teenager doing "Call Me Baby" in the parking lot. But you know, it was, it was so much fun. And even back then, you know what? Wait. I literally have that light stick
Oh my,
from back then. They literally used to use. Does it still work?
oh my God. It does.
From exoplanet to the exolution. The text is so bump, but
Yeah.
this is what we used back then for light sticks because they wouldn't bring the actual exo ones abroad. But it was there. It was fun. It was so much fun. I mean, it's very different now than it was
Yeah.
back then, but
The game has changed.
to say the least, yeah.
But yeah, that has been it for this episode of IDOLEYEZ. We'll be back next week with a guest from the Pacific Northwest. I will definitely post that promo image tomorrow. But you can also watch the VOD
Oh.
for this episode tomorrow. And it'll be uploaded to the YouTube channel by then. I'll announce it. I'll probably tag Ash and they'll retweet it or repost
Yes.
it. But yeah, if you missed any part of this episode, just watch the VOD tomorrow. But yeah, that has been it for this episode. Thank you everyone who tuned in for this episode. Thank you, Ash, for accepting this invitation after I had to reschedule. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. Thank you.
Yeah. And I hope to see you whenever that may be. But yeah.
Whenever that may be.
Yeah.
Looking at all of you.
But yeah, take care, brush your hair, be kind, rewind. We'll be going to the ending screen right now. Bye bye. Whoa. Where's the ending screen?